Hello there, my name's Erin. I want to share all of my favorite Weight Watchers foods today. These are things that I have in my house all of the time. I need to have them. There are like one or two things that I'm out of, and I'll pop the pictures on the screen. I am 33 years old and I've lost 78 pounds. The majority of that weight loss has been through Weight Watchers. I'm very excited. Weight Watchers is a huge tool for me, and these are all of some of my favorite things. I'm back with everything that I keep in the cabinet or pantry. So I first want to start off with sweeteners, like drinks. If you watch my videos, you know that I sweeten my water. Not as crazy as not as extreme as like water talk. But I do typically use a packet of sweetener for a 40-ounce cup of water. If it's smaller, I do not use the whole packet. If I'm having like a 12-ounce, it tends to be like a LaCroix, or more recently, this is the brand from Aldi, Bella V. These, of course, are 0 points. This is just seltzer water, naturally flavored. I can't drink it by itself. I've tried. I'm slowly trying to convert myself to be able to drink this on its own. I'm not there yet, and so I do flavor it. I flavor it with Mio, or I flavor it with a packet. I do not use the whole packet. I just sprinkle a little bit on there. I typically have one that I'm using throughout the week, and I just clip it with paper clip or something, and I just put a little bit in a 12-ounce can, and that's how I flavor that. So water packets are really important for me. Of course, they're 0 points. These are just two of my favorites. The Starburst All Pink and Snapple. Both of these you can find at Dollar Tree, Walmart, most grocery stores. If you're having something else, like not water, like hot tea, for example, I'm a big tea drinker. I tend to drink hot tea and take it with me on my walks. And I like to sweeten it with something like this. This one is the Pure Organic Sweetener Liquid Extract from stevia leaf. I'm not sure how you say that. 0 points, of course. I just put a tiny bit. This is very, very sweet. And if you know me, I don't like things that are excessively sweet, because I feel like the more my body gets used to artificial sweeteners, the more I crave them. And so I do limit myself on how much I have. The more sweet things I want. So it's like a half a squirt is what I put in a whole cup of tea. Another sweetener I like to reach for, which isn't quite as extreme as this one, is the monk fruit sweetener. And this is just basically a swap for granulated sugar. White sugar replacement. It is great. 0 points. Like it a lot. I'm not picky between the two, because I really only use this for my tea ever. And I like to do a tea bag, a very tiny bit of sweetener, and then a splash of oat milk. And then a good sweetener that you can use for tea, or you can use for pancakes, or you can use for anything, is the sugar-free maple syrup. I mean, there are plenty of brands. Walmart has a brand. There's one that starts with a C. I'm not picky. This is one of my favorite ones. This is 1 point for 2 tablespoons. Definitely always have that in the house, because I use it for a lot of different things. But that can also be really, really good in certain teas. Since we were talking about pancakes, this is the pancake I use. Kodiak cakes are 4 points for half a cup. I don't eat this a lot. I typically will only have this when we're having like big elaborate breakfasts, when I'm doing that for when we have people over, or when my son and my husband ask for it, which isn't often because they don't typically like that. If anything, I do more like breakfast for dinner for my son sometimes. My husband's just not a fan. But this is what I reach for when they have that and I want it for myself. So it is 4 points. It is very high in protein. 14 grams of protein per serving, of course, is half a cup. I want to talk about bread alternatives. So there are so many options for bread. I am not a sandwich girl, so I don't have like white bread or anything in the house. There are options though, like 1 point for a slice or something. I just don't have recommendations for you because I don't eat them. What I do eat are wraps and tacos and pizzas and things. And so Joseph's is a really, really good brand for that. I, of course, like to eat them like this, like a regular pita, stuffing it with stuff. One of these is 1 point. I really like them for pizza crusts. So I always have them in the house. Another really good option is the Extreme Wellness tortillas. They range, depending on the size, anywhere from 1 to 2 points. They don't sell them anywhere in my area, so they're incredibly difficult to get my hands on. Sometimes I have to have them shipped, and it's just not worth it for me when I could have something like this, or I can make 2-ingredient dough. So I don't really reach for them. I do have these ginormous carb balance tortillas. These are the really big ones. This one's all folded up, but these are the really big ones. So they're 4 points for one, but I would only have the one. There are smaller ones that are less points. And then another good bread alternative is the Wassa flatbreads. This is the only one I've had. I have not tried any others. They are very bland, so don't go into it thinking you're getting like a salty cracker or something. There's not much flavor to them. I like them because of the crunch, and they're very hardy. They hold up under a lot of pressure. And these are, you can have 2 of these for 1 point, and I think when you get up to 3, it's then 2 points, and then 4 is 3 points, something like that. But I always have 2 for 1 point. I did forget when I was talking about drinks, specifically for this season is hot chocolate. I love hot chocolate. This has been no sugar added. I'm really picky about the flavoring for, you know, when they have like sugar-free things like this. This is just the one that I can tolerate, that I like the most. And it's 3 points for 1 envelope. In my opinion, it's worth it in the wintertime when you're like playing out in the snow or going for a really long walk. I like saving the points for something like that. So even though it's kind of high for a drink, I like it a lot. Also really good for the cold weather are soups. And I just picked 2 ones that I always have on hand. I always have a light Progresso soup. It's like always on my grocery list. And I also like the Campbell's Well Yes. I do have the points difference. The Well Yes, the Campbell's, this particular one, the chicken noodle soup, is 3 points for the whole can. All of them vary. The tomato soups are much higher. You have to scan them, but if you're looking for a low point soup, I would reach for the Well Yes Campbell's or the Progresso light soups. The beef pot roast, this can is also 3 points for the whole can. Light Progresso, these are always really good. My favorite is the New England clam chowder, and that one is much higher in points, but sometimes I just like that, and I will often just have something like these with it, and so it makes it kind of like a low calorie or low point meal. Yeah, I really like having soups, and those are 2 really good brands to have that are low in points. Pizza sauce, this one is 1 point for a 1/4 cup or 25 calories. There are plenty of different ones you can try. I also like the Ragu brand. This one is low in points. And so I really like this one, and it tastes great. And then Alfredo. I love Alfredo. It's one of my favorite meals on the planet. And so what I do, because this is 3 points for a 1/4 of a cup. So what I'll do is use a 1/4 cup, and then I will bulk the pasta sauce up with cottage cheese, as I said earlier, and it just makes it spread far. But for the noodles, I have 2 different options for you. The higher point option is the Banza shells made from chickpeas. I really like these. I really like the texture of these, and they are packed with protein, 20 grams of protein. So I do reach for these, even though they are 4 points. But when I'm low on points, the really good option are the skinny pastas. This one's rice, but they have linguine, they have angel hair, and they have regular spaghetti. They're all great. I think these are probably the closest I've ever come to finding a pasta alternative that the texture is as close to regular pasta as you can get. And they are 0 points. So if you can get your hands on these, try it out. It's a really good alternative to pasta, and it bulks up your meals perfectly. Definitely like to add cottage cheese or something to my sauces when I'm eating this, because I think the protein will go far, and that really helps me stay full longer. But like, these are really good for bulking up your food, because if you have something like this, you're having a much smaller portion. And we're gonna move on to Fiber One bars. These are my two favorites. I haven't tried any other ones, but I want to. This is the cinnamon coffee cake, and this one is the chocolate fudge. This is what I have with my yogurts. I take one, they're about this size, and I just crush it up in my yogurt, and it makes the yogurt and this, because these are 2 points, it's a 4-point snack. It's a good way to get fiber into my diet, and I love them. They are one of my favorite things. I want to talk briefly about the sugar-free Jell-O. I think it's 1 point for 1/4 of the package, if I'm not mistaken. You can mix this with Greek yogurt to make yourself like a snack. You can mix it with cottage cheese. It's my favorite way to eat it is when I'm having like a powdered protein shake. I will add a little bit of this in there with a lot of ice and blend it up into a smoothie. Sometimes I'll add a banana. It's really, really good. If you have a sweet tooth like me, these are the bomb. They are 4 points for 3 pieces. When I was first starting out, I needed something like this in the house all the time, because I was always going off. I was always just grabbing things that my son and my husband had around the house. And I would get so depressed because I just had no self-control. So like, having these as an alternative really helped me. They are on the more expensive side. Now, I mean, I've had this bag for weeks. I don't need them as much, but I'm an ice cream person. So like, ice cream is kind of like my go-to now. But it used to be these and ice cream. I definitely weaned myself off of that naturally. It wasn't painful. And now I just have them. They were good around Halloween when everyone's eating candy. It helped curb the cravings and stuff. So love to have them in the house. There are lots of options for protein. I encourage you to do research. I encourage you to try different things, because protein can be difficult to get your hands on. Protein bars are important for me because I always have them in my purse. I always have them in my purse when we're going out. Sometimes we go out and we don't expect to be out as long as we are, and we all get hungry, and it used to be, well, let's go get fast food. And the reality is, I have a husband who does not struggle with his weight like I do, and I have an 11-year-old son who eats so much and is growing like a weed. So I am a lone wolf on this journey. They have no part in it, apart from the part that they want to play. They let me swap out light mayonnaise. They let me swap out ground beef for ground turkey. Like, things that they enjoy, I'm okay with. I will never push them to eat what I'm eating. I will never push them to do what I'm doing. If they want to go to McDonald's, who am I to tell them no? It's not healthy for me. And I've learned that over the years to stop expecting everyone around me to participate in this with me, because the reality is, it's not for anyone else but me. My journey is my own. And if I want to be successful, I need to learn self-control and commitment. And part of that is when your 11-year-old son wants French fries from McDonald's, you either have to be able to say no, or you have to be able to eat the French fry and accept the consequences. As dramatic as that sounds. If you watch my videos, you guys know we go out to eat. I enjoy food, but I prepare for it. And I have the knowledge going into it of what it's going to do to my body, what effects it's going to have, how it's going to affect my mental health and my health journey. And I make informed decisions. But Erin, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago, would go to McDonald's with her son and overindulge and eat too much. And I had no knowledge, and I did not have any commitment or self-control. Okay, apart from all of that, I'm not going to go on a long tangent because I could be here forever. But What I'm saying is something that does help me in instances like that when they want to go out to eat and I don't, because I don't want to accept the consequences, because I'm having a really great day and I have been on track and I'm tracking everything and I just feel fantastic because the meals that I've had so far are really fueling my body, and I don't want to eat greasy food at McDonald's. As amazing as it sounds and as amazing as it smells, I just don't want to accept that for myself today. And so I like to have protein bars in my purse. You can have a variety of different ones. This one is the Kellogg Berry Vanilla protein snack bar. In reality, if you go to the ingredients, it's only got 6 grams of protein. This is not one that I want to reach for because it's not going to keep me full for very long. However, it's only 3 points for a bar. So I have them in my purse anyway, because if I'm feeling like I have the munchies, it's only 3 points for a pretty decent sized bar. Another option would be the Kodiak breakfast bars. This one is cinnamon, oat, and apple, and it is 10 grams of protein, so a little bit higher, but it's also higher in points. These ones are 6 points for one bar. And this is where you kind of have to judge, because if I was going to spend 6 points on this Kodiak breakfast bar, unless it tastes the best and I want it just because it tastes that good, in reality, I'm probably better off reaching for one of these, because this is also 6 points. I got it upside down. This is also 6 points, but it has 20 grams of protein. It's going to make me feel fuller longer for the same amount of points. And these, without a doubt, taste better than these. This is my favorite protein bar right now. It's the chocolate peanut caramel. I get them at Walmart. The texture, fantastic. The taste, fantastic. It tastes like a candy bar. It is absolutely fantastic. 6 points. My other favorite one from this brand is the lemon cake. These are 7 points. Also 20 grams of protein. I like lemon a lot, so these are really good for me, and they're worth 7 points to me. But there are lower point options. So you have the legendary donuts. These are good if you warm them with the microwave. And these are only 4 points. Oh, sorry. I write on some of my boxes the points so I can remember. These are only 4 points. So, and you can get them at like GNC and online and stuff. These are really good for breakfast. These are also 20 grams of protein. So that's like a lower point option. Another lower point option is dive bars, but not all dive bars. So I have 2 here. These I do not like to eat right out of the package. I like putting these in the air fryer just for a few minutes. They taste like just baked cookie. This is the trash can cookie. This one is higher in points. This one is 6 points, but a lower point option is the Butterfinger, which is only 4 points. These are really yummy. I love these in the air fryer. What I used to do is I would pop them in the air fryer and then I put like a little scoop of ice cream on them. I still do that sometimes, but not as often. So those are just some options of protein bars, and there are so many out there. Some of them taste disgusting. Something that might taste good to you might taste bad for me. Something that tastes good for me might taste bad for you. So I do encourage you to try different ones. And then another really good way to get your protein is through Premier Protein Shakes. Alani Nu has a good brand. I haven't tried anything outside of Premier Protein and Alani Nu, so I can't recommend it. But these are all 2 points a carton, and I put them in my coffee every morning. If I'm having hot coffee, I put half a carton in, and if I'm having cold coffee with shots of espresso, I use a whole one. These are 30 grams of protein each. That is phenomenal when you're waking up in the morning. I also like to drink one after a really intense workout. I like to have the Cake Batter Delight after a workout. What I'll do is I'll pop it in my blender with a lot of ice, blend it up, and I will sip on it like while I'm cooling down. Chocolate peanut butter is my favorite, I think, out of all of the flavors. And my second favorite would have to be the cinnamon roll. Those are really good. I always have like different flavors though. I have bananas and cream here, and I have strawberries and cream. The caramel one's pretty good. I absolutely do not recommend the chocolate. It is the grossest thing. Probably the grossest protein thing I've ever had. Like, I cannot stand it. Other than that, every other flavor I've had has been great. So try different stuff. If you have like one protein thing and it tastes bad, don't let it throw you off. I can remember when I first started out, I had the caramel Premier Protein for the first time, and I just was not a fan. And that's because I had spent the majority of my life having very sugary things. And so it didn't taste as good to me. Now I've weaned myself off of all that sugar, and so it tastes much better. Like popcorn. This popcorn is 3 points for a bag. They're little mini bags, okay? But it's a good amount of popcorn for one person. I like to take these with me when I go to the movies with my husband and my son. I just pop it and put it in my purse. They're only 100 calories a bag as well. But when I first started eating this, I couldn't stand it compared to like movie theater popcorn. Movie theater popcorn is covered in butter. So of course it's going to taste different. You just, over time, you have to get used to it. You have to give your body a chance to catch up to what you're putting in it. So that was a lot. I could go on and on. There are so many other things that I like, but these are like things that I always have in my house. And so I hope a little bit of this helped you, and I hope you get something out of this, like something new to try. If you liked it, I'm always more than willing to do like another part 2 or something. I would really like to talk about my favorite 0-point foods and how I prepare them. I am a 0-point food girly. I like having a lot of 0-point foods. That is basically what I live off of. A lot of vegetables, a lot of cottage cheese, a lot of yogurt. So I think next I would really like to do my favorite 0-point foods. So if you guys like this video and you wouldn't mind giving it a thumbs up and you want to see more from me, you can hit the subscribe button. I think it's down there somewhere. And I will see you guys in the next one.